The report that Trump's White House wants to tell CNN and The Washington Post who to hire and fire has stirred a new round of concern over how far the administration may try to go in shaping mainstream media. The idea that a presidential administration would pressure individual news organizations about staffing choices is not new, but the latest signals suggest a more aggressive strategy. According to insiders cited in recent coverage, several senior aides have discussed the possibility of pushing major outlets to remove certain journalists viewed as unfair or hostile, while rewarding others who provide what they consider more balanced coverage. Even if such efforts never formally materialize, the intention alone highlights an administration increasingly comfortable with blurring the lines between political messaging and newsroom independence. The reported plan appears rooted in a familiar narrative. Trump and his circle have long claimed that large media institutions are biased, corrupt, or working actively against the administration's goals. During the first Trump presidency, these attacks were often rhetorical, heated exchanges at press briefings, tweets denouncing specific reporters, or public taunts at rallies. But this time, aides appear more organized and more willing to use the leverage of the federal government to influence the media environment. Some advisors reportedly believe they have a mandate from their supporters to confront what they call a media cartel, and they view personnel changes inside outlets as a way to shift the tone of national coverage. News organizations, however, operate under entirely different principles. CNN, The Washington Post, and other major outlets maintain strict firewalls between editorial decisions and outside pressure. Even when facing political criticism, they typically resist intervention to protect their credibility. Editors and executives have historically emphasized that hiring and firing decisions reflect journalistic standards, not political demands. The notion that they would remove reporters simply because the White House objects to their coverage is inconsistent with industry norms and would set a dangerous precedent. Any direct attempt by government officials to coerce such actions could also trigger significant legal and constitutional challenges, particularly under the First Amendment's protections for a free press. Still, the administration's posture matters. Even without formal directives, repeated chatter about punishing disfavored reporters or attempting to influence newsrooms can have a chilling effect, especially on smaller outlets or less experienced journalists. It shapes the environment in which reporters operate, encouraging self-censorship or second-guessing when covering sensitive topics. For outlets that rely on federal access to report on national affairs, the threat of being frozen out can carry real consequences. Some Trump advisors reportedly believe that withholding access is an effective strategy to pressure news organizations to make internal changes. Media advocates and First Amendment experts have already warned that such a move would represent one of the most direct challenges to press independence in recent American history. While clashes between presidents and the media are common, Kennedy, Nixon, Obama, and others all had tense relationships with the press. Explicitly attempting to dictate personnel decisions crosses a red line. Press freedom groups argue that if such efforts succeed, future administrations of any party could escalate the tactic, turning the media landscape into a battleground where political approval determines which reporters keep their jobs. For their part, CNN and The Washington Post have not indicated any willingness to entertain such pressure. Both outlets have faced political hostility before and have maintained their editorial independence despite threats, criticism, or calls for boycotts. Their leadership understands that credibility depends on resisting political influence, even when doing so risks losing access or becoming a target of attacks. Ultimately, the controversy underscores an important dynamic in modern politics: the struggle over who shapes the national narrative. The Trump White House sees the media as a powerful adversary capable of undermining its agenda. News organizations view the administration's maneuvers as an attack on democratic norms and the freedom of the press. How this tension unfolds will help define the tone of the years ahead, and whether the nation moves toward a future where political leaders dictate the boundaries of journalism or one where independent reporting remains a cornerstone of American democracy.